What is going on? Happy New Year. Welcome to 2024. We are 3 days into the new year, and I hope you all had a great ending to your 2023 and you're having a great beginning to your 2024. I'm doing pretty decent, I guess. I went to the gym yesterday, the second day of the new year, had a really good pull workout. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that I pretty much work out numerous times throughout the week. So for me, going to the gym is not necessarily a New Year's resolution. It's just something that I already do. It was packed yesterday, the second day of the year, and I was like, oh my God, I'll be going again today. But that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is because I'm responding to CC For Real's YouTube channel, Situations Are Stupid. So situationships are stupid. And I love the way you did your video with the different jump shots, edits, and then getting other people's opinions and perspectives incorporated into the video. Really appreciate that. Link to CC For Real's YouTube channel is in the description box below, and a link to this specific video, Situations Are Stupid, is also in the description box below. And I'm kind of bringing it back to what I used to do 3 years ago. Oh my God, I cannot believe I'm saying 3 years ago. 2021 was 3 years ago. Oh my God. But anyways, have your coffee, have your tea, have your water, have your juice, your pop, your milk, your alcohol, your liquor, whatever you're drinking. I'm drinking some coffee right now, so I'm having some coffee. But we bring back that mug, tea time, coffee time, whatever. Had to add that in for the ASMR effects one more time. Because I really don't be slurping when I drink coffee. All right, anyways, let's get into it. But situationships are stupid. So I have found myself in situationships way too many times. I think the big thing is when it comes to situationships is in my opinion, you have to realize that this is not a committed relationship. So you don't need to be acting like you're in a committed relationship when you're in a situationship. I feel like one of the reasons why situationships are stupid is because it's confusing. Because off rip, it's already like, oh, I like you, but I don't like you that much that I'm willing to be in a committed relationship with you. So I don't really like you is basically what, to me, is what we need to focus on, is that they don't like you that much. Because if they did, they would be in a committed relationship with you, okay? I feel like a lot of people who have commitment issues are the main ones that end up in situationships. And I really want to talk about that part because a lot of people think they don't have commitment issues when they do. Okay, so accountability time. Get your coffee cups, baby. Accountability time. So what I mean by is you may have commitment issues even though you're not acknowledging it, is accountability time. If you're always finding yourself in these dynamics where you're in a situationship, then 9 times out of 10, you have commitment issues. I'm just going to call a thing because oftentimes it's emotionally unavailable people getting with other emotionally unavailable people. Hence why they're both in an untitled, unlabeled situationship. Because people who are emotionally available to themselves and to the other person or the other people that they're engaging with are not going to typically waste their time in the ambiguousness of a situationship, right? And it's a commitment issue, in my opinion, because typically when you're in a situationship, you're literally doing everything that you would do in a committed relationship without the title, without the label. And to bring it further into how this is a commitment problem, in my opinion, is a lot of times people don't want the responsibility or the liability or the accountability that comes with being in a committed relationship that has a title or a label. Where when you're in a situationship, there's really no accountability to that person because you're not in a committed relationship with them. So if you decide that you want to go talk to other people, go on dates with other people, have sex with other people, you have every right to do so because you're not in a committed relationship. And it also becomes mentally, to me, it's almost like emotional, psychological abuse after a while because you can't call the other person out on anything because that's not your man. That's not your woman. That's not your partner. Okay. And this is where if you are someone who has attachment issues, especially if you are an anxious avoidant attachment style, a dysregulated, a disorganized attachment style, situationships are not a good idea, in my opinion. And here I am with these dysfunctional attachment styles, and I'm constantly in these situationship setups. And again, accountability is I'm not emotionally available and I have commitment issues. Something that I'm working on in 2024, like dead ass, because I'm realizing like, why do I always end up in these like dynamics? The common denominator is me. So like, red flag right here. So, but yeah, so when you were talking about that, like, yes. And then when you were talking about socialization, this is something that I'm definitely going to be talking about a lot more on the GeoFlux YouTube channel. So if you don't know, now you know, I was born intersex. I'm an intersex trans man. So when we're talking about socialization, oh my goodness, I talk a lot about this myself with my friends. And then I also went to school. My master's of arts is in social sciences with a concentration on women, gender, human sexuality, U.S. history, and politics. So when we're talking about gender socialization, oh my goodness. Cece, for real, you hit it on the nail. If you were assigned female at birth, you were born intersex and raised as a girl, you identify as a woman and raised as a girl, the way girls and women are socialized to essentially be doormats and to put everybody above them and to be second and third and fourth fiddle in your own life and to constantly center men and to just be very specific to center cisgendered men to the point where you don't have any goals outside of getting married, being in a relationship, having kids, a wedding, getting the cis male's approval, being attractive so the cis male finds you attractive. So a lot of times when we look at these relationship dynamics, especially those who were raised as girls, assigned female at birth, born intersex and raised as a girl, etc., you're taught that romance and relationships and marriage and having kids and, being the helpmate is your main role in life. And that is a bad way to be socialized because essentially you have no boundaries, or the boundaries that you have are very weak. You don't really have a sense of self because your entire sense of self is predicated on being chosen by some cis man. I'm just going to be honest. And then your entire life is about being in a relationship. It's not really about what do you want as an individual, what makes you unique, what turns you on, what turns you off, what are your hobbies, what do you like, things of that nature. All of that's kind of to the side. Where if you are assigned male at birth or you were born intersex and raised as a boy, you identify as a man and was raised as a boy, the way boys and men are socialized are the complete opposite. They're basically raised to center themselves, screw everybody else. They're not being taught that they need to be husbands and fathers and have kids. It's not their focal point. Their focal point is, what do I like to do? What are my hobbies? What are my wants? What are my needs? What are my goals? What turns me on? What turns me off? That's what they're focused on. Even when they get into a relationship, their entire life is not going to be revolving around the person that they're in a relationship with. Rather, that's in a heterosexual dynamic, homosexual dynamic, bisexual dynamic. It's just not going to happen. I mean, oftentimes, and I'm just being real, oftentimes men don't even think that much about their own kids. I mean, hello, who typically is the deadbeat? Anyways, they're not concerned about that because they're not socialized to be concerned about that. So when you get to the situationship, and Cece for real was hinting on this the entire time, a lot of times it's women, okay, women or people who are more feminine, etc., who want to have the relationship with the person, and most times with the guy, but the guy doesn't want to have a relationship with them. And a lot of times when you look at these situationships, the guy is the one who's benefiting the most, because at the end of the day, you're the one having sex with him on a consistent basis. You're the one calling and texting and wanting to hang out and spend every waking moment with him. You're the one planning the dates, even though they're not really dates, because you guys aren't in a relationship. It's not a committed relationship. Again, you're performing a lot of the relationship behaviors, you know what I'm saying, without there being a relationship. And then a lot of us who do this, and notice I said a lot of us because I'm a red flag, I'm a part of the problem. A lot of us who do this then turn around and become very resentful. You know, oh my God, he's using me. Oh, he played me. Oh, she's using me. Oh, they're playing me. When in reality, you're playing yourself. You're using yourself. Because at the end of the day, in my opinion, tea time. In my opinion, you can't control what other people do or how other people treat you. You can only control what you do and how you treat other people. So, are they stupid? Arguably, yes, they're very stupid. And then, like, I see a lot of people who left comments on CC for Real's video, and I totally agree. They're a waste of time too a lot of times because again, there's this notion that, okay, well, I'm settling, because that's basically what you're doing a lot of times when you're in a situationship, because obviously one of you wants a relationship while the other one doesn't. So the person who wants the relationship essentially is settling for the situationship so they can at least think, oh, well, there may be a chance with him. Maybe if he sees that I'm real cool and chill in the situationship phase, he will eventually want something long-term, with a title, with a label, with commitment. And in my experience, that doesn't really happen. Instead, you just spend months, years doing the same thing until one of you either caves in and finally agrees to settling and being with that person for real, or you just continue to have the same setup where, like, y'all aren't in a committed relationship, y'all act like y'all together. There's definitely some jealousy going on here. That's another thing that doesn't make sense to me. This is why it is confusing and, as you said, stupid, because, like, you will have people who don't want to be with you, but yet will question who you're talking to, who you're hanging out with, if you're having sex with other people. And it's like, why is that any of your business when you don't even want to be in a committed relationship with me? But yet a lot of us will feed right back into it, and we're giving people a play-by-play on every little thing that we're doing. If we go out to eat with somebody, if we have sex with somebody. Now, granted, in my opinion, in a healthy relationship, regardless if it's romantic, platonic, whatever, you need to have open communication and you need to be honest and transparent. So even if we're not in a committed relationship, you should be telling that person, hey, I'm going on a date with such and such. hey, I had sex with such and such. I'm getting an STI, STD test. I'm using condoms. I'm using lube. I'm on PrEP. Having that open communication, because that's another thing that I don't understand now that we're going into this. How are you cheating on people in situationships when y'all aren't even together? Like, it's a lot of confusing. Also, go blue. ADHD moment, but I have to represent. Go blue. But no, you will literally have people accusing you of cheating on them even though y'all are not together at all. Like, y'all are not in a relationship. This is a situationship. Like, there's that. I also see sometimes people will get in situationships not just because like they're afraid of commitment or they're not emotionally available, but sometimes people feel like they're not where they need to be at in life and they don't want to be a burden on another person. So they don't push for the committed relationship. So I can also understand that because, like, being honest, I've had situations where, hey, I could have been in an actual committed relationship, but I was afraid of commitment. And I also didn't feel comfortable in my own body. Again, I was born intersex and I'm a trans man. So when I look back half a decade ago, that honestly could have been a real committed relationship, but I wasn't ready. Again, take accountability, because like a lot of things that I see too, like as we go into 2024, I really want people to focus on your role, your actions, your behaviors, your thought process, because we are so quick to point the finger at everybody else. Meanwhile, you're having the same problem with everybody else and you are the common denominator. So I also want us to look at how we put ourselves in these situationships and then try to play victim after the fact when you already... I'm going to read a comment on here that just hits it perfectly. Someone left a comment on CC For Real's video, and I could not agree more and more and more and more to this. So let me see. I got to look. Oh my God, now I have to try to find it. Okay, here it goes. So Katrina Midget 3 weeks ago said it. And I'm reading their comment, but insert the gender that you identify with or keep it gender neutral if that's what you want. But Katrina Midget said, remember ladies, men just talking to you benefit them. So if you're in a situationship, not only is he getting clout for having you around, but he's doing below bare minimum to satisfy you. But he gets everything he wants. Does that sound like the kind of situation you want to be in? And that's literally what a lot of these situationships are. One person is literally settling while the other person has their options still available and open. And a lot of times in this situation between a man and a woman, it's the truth. You got the woman performing girlfriend-wife duties while he is basically just there. And he is giving you the bare minimum. You know what I'm saying? Like, because he doesn't want the relationship because he doesn't want to put in, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes he doesn't want the relationship because he doesn't want to put in the effort. It is what it is. That's just it. Because relationships come with accountability, responsibility. If you're in a relationship and you're in a committed relationship, you're going to have to put in a lot more effort than hitting somebody up at 11 o'clock at night trying to get a booty call. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to plan dates. You're going to have to initiate dates. You're going to have to remember, birthdays and anniversary dates. You're going to have to actually be emotionally available. And a lot of people, regardless of their gender or sexuality, are not emotionally available, even though people love to talk about them being you're not emotionally available in situationships, arguably. I also think, and then Katrina went on, remember the table is already set. You have an immaculate buffet and a man approaches you eating at your buffet while asking you, what do you bring to the table? Or I can't commit to you while eating at your table. And that analogy is really to me is the best way to explain it, because it's the truth. It's like they're eating at your table, yet they're not bringing you anything to your table. They're enjoying all of the benefits of being with you without being with you. And this goes back to why, if you have attachment issues, if you're looking for something real, a committed monogamous relationship or a committed relationship, regardless of the relationship type, do not entertain situationships. Do not waste your time with them, because it doesn't benefit you. Now, if you're one of those people that, like, for me, I've talked about this before, I'm non-monogamous. So a lot of times situationships do occur, and that's okay in some aspects for me, because I'm non-monogamous. I wasn't trying to be fully committed to you anyway. I'm just going to be real. I'm going to just be real, and I'm very upfront about that. But then I also realized through therapy, is my non-monogamy truly my choice? Or is that because I have commitment issues? Is that because of my attachment style? Is that a coping mechanism for dealing with bad situations with people in my past? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, is this really a personal choice that I made? Or is this me responding out of trauma, right? And, it could be a deeper issue. So I'm working on that this year. But anyway, if you know that you want something more, do not waste your time in a situationship, is essentially what I would tell anybody. Because and then when you look at the comments, you have so many people who have literally wasted years talking to somebody that never had any intentions of being with them. Arguably, this is why you have people who have been talking to a guy for a decade, and yet there's no ring, there's no wedding, there's no engagement, there's no progression. But they have wasted a decade of their life talking to this person. And then when that person finally goes on with their life and leaves you, and then a lot of times it's inevitably going to happen. Again, and when what Cece said is so true, I have never seen a situationship mature to an actual committed relationship. I have not. What I've seen is eventually people leave each other alone, and the person who wanted the relationship is the one that's likely going to be devastated and is going to spend some time kind of having to repair their mental health and their self-esteem. And that's why, to me, it's just not a good idea, especially if you want something more. So I just want to make sure that, I'm upfront about that. And I'm going to be doing more videos like this where I'm reacting to other people's videos, this year, essentially, because I like the commentary. I like getting to hear other people's perspectives, learn from other people, and also watching other content creators, you know what I'm saying? And then sharing their content information and, so link to Situations Are Stupid video is in the description box, and a link to CC For Real's YouTube channel is also in the description box below. Let me know what y'all think. Are situations stupid? Are situations confusing? Do you agree with them? Do you hate them? What do you think? I will say, I feel like in today's day and age, situationships have definitely become the norm, because so many of us that are millennials and Gen Z, a lot of us, I'm going to just call a thing a thing. And again, shout out to Say So TV. A lot of us come from broken homes. So with that being said, our relationship dynamics reflect exactly what we grew up with. So it's not a surprise to me that we have so many unambiguous situationships, friends with benefits setups, because a lot of people are coming from dysfunction. Okay, if you didn't grow up in a healthy home and seen healthy relationships displayed in front of you, modeled to you, you're likely not going to be able, you're likely not going to know how to be in a healthy relationship, or you're going to have to learn how to be in one because you didn't have it shown to you. You know, like when I look at what I grew up in, and don't get me wrong, like I was raised, I was taken care of, I was provided for, but arguably that was not a healthy setup. And when I look at what I saw demonstrated as love and relationships, I'm not really surprised that these are the experiences that I've had. I mean, and arguably my experiences were better than what I grew up with, which is shocking. Because if this is considered to be better, like okay, like I'm in therapy, baby. I'm in therapy. But like, so yeah, it doesn't really surprise me. A lot of us are basically doing what we know. Okay? People are shacking up. And also, I think another issue that women also and feminine people also need to just acknowledge is some people are physically and sexually attractive. And that is okay. You do not need to be in a committed relationship with everybody that you find physically and sexually attractive. That is something that I feel men and masculine people do really well at. They realize, I can have sex with you. We can even laugh and potentially be friends, but I don't necessarily see a long-term committed relationship with you. And that isn't to belittle you or downgrade you, but I just don't see that with you. And I feel like more women and feminine people need to acknowledge that so they can stop wasting their own time. Because let's be real, you see people who are attractive physically, sexually, but you know in the back of your mind, this is not the type of person that you would want to have a long-lasting relationship with. And I don't think there's nothing wrong with acknowledging that. I think the problem is people try to turn hookups into long-term partners. And when that doesn't really vibe well, for obvious reasons, you're not compatible, but the sex is good type shit, that is somebody that you do a situationship with. That's not somebody that you try to turn into your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your partner, your fiance, your boo, your bae, your life partner, your significant other. Like, no. And I mean, and this isn't to degrade or belittle or knock people down, but it's the reality. Everybody doesn't deserve that position in your life. But anyways, I am going to put this on YouTube. All right, check out CC For Real's YouTube channel and her video, or their video. Situationships Are Stupid, and I'm out.